Congratulations on your purchase of the Monster Jam Gravedigger Ride-On Vehicle. By following the assembly instructions in the manual and this video, putting together and operating the Gravedigger will be easy and safe. As you unpack the parts, check them against the parts diagrams on pages 5 and 6 in the manual. Confirm you have all the parts. Some parts are located underneath the truck frame. The steering linkage is also zip-tied to the frame. Slowly roll the truck frame onto its side. Set the wheels, steering rod, and rear axle aside. And then continue rolling the truck frame upside down. Remove the zip ties and set the steering linkage aside. And then remove the remaining zip ties from the frame. Lift the gearbox frame tube and insert the rear spacer to support it. Now you're ready to begin assembly. Start by connecting the motor wire cover tubes to the motor housings. Position the motor wire tube covers onto the motor housing and screw each of them in place with 3 Type A screws. Make sure the bottom of the motor wire tube covers is correctly positioned in the holes in the truck body. Once the tubes are attached, remove the rear spacer and place it with your other parts. Next, you'll insert the long straight end of the steering rod into the opening in the truck body. Push through until the plastic bracket meets the body and the rod is passed through the dashboard and come out through the center hole. Tilt the truck on its side to confirm the rod is properly positioned in the center hole. Tilt the truck back upside down. Align the plastic bracket and secure it with 2 Type A screws. Now, remove the hex bolts from the unattached ends of the rear shock absorbers. Lift the movable part of the frame and rotate the shock absorbers up into position. Secure them in place using the hex bolts. Tighten the hex bolts using 2 hex wrenches. Follow the same process to secure the front shock absorbers. To hang the steps on each side of the truck, start with the driver's side. Carefully lift the step support tube up as far as it will go so that it snaps out beyond the plastic truck body. Be careful not to pinch your fingers. Locate the 4 tabs on the side of the truck's body and align them with the slots in the driver's side steps. Repeat these steps for the passenger side. Now you'll finish securing the steps on each side. First, hold up the steel step support tube. It's okay if you need to flex the step to get it in proper position. Firmly press down on the base of the step until it snaps into place. With the step rotated into place, push down on the outer edge of the step and position the 2 plastic posts into the holes in the support tube. Again, it's okay if you need to flex the step to get it into the proper position. Secure the plastic posts to the support tube with 2 Type B screws. Secure the base of the step with 5 of the Type A screws. Repeat these steps for the passenger side. Moving to the exhaust pipes, locate the 4 mounting posts in the truck behind the step assembly. Find the 4 openings on the exhaust pipe and turn the pipe over so the openings face the floor. Position the openings onto the mounting posts and press the pipe into place. Secure the pipe with 4 Type A screws and repeat the process for the exhaust pipe on the other side. Insert one end of the rear spacer into the space between the taillight and the body, and then rotate the other end down into place. Be careful of the light and the wiring. Firmly push the spacer down, bending it as necessary until it snaps into place. Align the mounting holes in the spacer with the holes in the body. And secure it with 7 Type A screws. Insert the bumper's 2 long tubes into the ports in the rear spacer. Then push the 2 short stubs into the ends of the steel frame tubes. Secure with 1 Type B screw on each side. For the front bumper, insert its 2 long tubes onto the pins in the front of the truck. After seating the tubes onto the pins, push the 2 short stubs into the ends of the steel frame on each side. Secure with 1 Type B screw on each side. Start by removing one of the flange nuts from the axle using the plastic sockets. Slide a spacer onto the axle with the wide end first until it hits the other flange nut. Next, slide a wheel onto the axle, making sure the BKT letters on it are facing outward. Now, fully slide the axle through the gearbox and rotate the wheel until it is correctly aligned to engage the hexagon drive coupler into the hexagon shape in the wheel. Slide the other rear wheel onto the opposite end of the axle until it's aligned with the drive coupling. Slide the spacer on, pressing it into the hub of the wheel, and then place the washer and the flange nut on the end and tighten. Using 2 sets of the combined socket and screwdriver tool, tighten the left and right flange nuts at the same time. For the steering linkage, you'll start by removing the bolts and nuts from the steering arm of the truck. Place the steering linkage over the steering rod, so the loop is placed around the end of the steering rod. Secure the linkage in place with the bolts and nuts you removed from each side. Be sure to tighten securely with wrenches. Carefully slide the rubber boots on the linkage so they cover the bolt and nut on each side. Remove the flange nuts and washers from the front steering arms. And slide a front wheel onto the arm, making sure the BKT letters are facing out. Slide the spacer on, pressing it into the hub of the wheel, and then place the washer and the flange nut on the end and tighten. Repeat for the other front wheel. To install the steering wheel, slowly and carefully turn the truck right side up, so it's resting on all 4 wheels. Remove the bolt from the steering wheel, but leave the nut in place. Locate the 4 electrical wire connectors, 2 coming from the truck and 2 coming from the steering wheel. Snap the 2 connectors from the truck securely together to the 2 connectors coming from the steering wheel. There is only one way for each to connect to the other. With the wires connected, feed the wires down into the hole in the steering wheel pedestal, moving the steering wheel down and onto the steering rod at the same time. With the steering wheel all the way down and its hole aligned with the hole in the rod, secure them together with the bolt, tightening it into the nut on the other side. The battery is installed under the seat. To locate, remove the seat by unscrewing the 2 screws at the front. Connect by snapping the battery and the truck electrical connectors together. Please note this is the same connector that will be used to charge the battery. To reinstall the seat, slide the tabs on the lower back seat into the slots on the truck. Lower the front edge of the seat into place and secure it with the 2 screws. To complete the assembly, simply slide the flagpole into the slot on the left rear of the truck, and you're ready to roll. The battery requires 14 hours of charge time before it can be used the first time. To charge, connect the male battery charger connector to the female connector on the battery, and then plug the charger into a wall outlet. For further detail regarding assembly, operation, safety, and warranty, please consult your manual.